I wanna actually do Ted Cruz. That's a little older, and I've been meaning to get to that too. Oh god. Hey Megan.
Hey Snookums.
Yeah, this is some town hall, and well, let's just watch.
Yeah, fair enough.
And welcome back to Madison, Wisconsin, with Texas Senator and Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz. I want to get right now to our audience.
The irony being, this didn't get hyped worth a damn, but the Donald Trump quote got hyped all over the place.
Yeah, well, I mean, who gives a fuck about Ted Cruz?
Yeah, everyone knows he's a joke.
We're doing. I mean, we do because but we do a show. We show James Jackson clips.
Yeah,
it's not exactly the high standards.
Yeah, that should make Ted Cruz feel bad.
Yeah, we're showing your video right after the anti-vax video.
And a crazy person ranting in their living room.
So, suck it.
That's what par you're on.
Some of whom have questions for the good senator. I want to take it first to Lee Meyer of Madison, who has a question about abortion.
Thank you.
I have one. How'd it miss you?
Had it missed Ted?
Yeah. Jesus. Look at this poor woman.
Consider myself a moderate Republican, and I'm pro-choice. One of my fears and concerns is that if you become president, you may make abortion illegal nationwide. So what's your message to me and other women and men regarding that issue and that fear?
Well,
he's so fucking sleazy looking. Jesus.
He's got a lot of makeup on it. Looks like it's just smothered all over his face.
Yeah, he's just such a terrifying looking individual.
His nose it looks fake. It looks like it was super glued on. It's like a Halloween prop.
It's a Halloween witch's nose.
You know, there are a lot of fears, because even Marco Rubio talked about overturning Roe versus Wade, but realistically, these guys will never do that. They will never have the chance unless the entire House and Senate was just really far right Republicans. There's no way, and the entire Supreme Court as well. That is the only way that would happen.
Seriously.
Lee, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming out. You know, the issue.
That nose, though. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. It looks like... did he get punched? It looks
I'm
like
sure. I'm sure he's been punched there.
I would. That's where I'd be aiming.
The issue of life has been an issue that has torn this country apart for many, many decades. And my view, I'm pro-life. I believe that we should protect every human life, and we should protect...
You need to meet more people, Ted.
Hey, you should watch our show, Ted. You should see some of the people that we cover. And
I'm just saying.
Be more pro-choice, but
not all the lives. Not all the lives, man.
Protect every life from the moment of conception.
You know, I hate to pause it already, but that is such bullshit too. Like, I could point to several groups you don't give a shit about, Ted. What a liar.
Yeah, well, Ted Cruz really isn't all that interested in telling the truth. He's interested in satisfying his base. That's all that matters to him.
What the fuck is he even doing?
Being ridiculous.
He might, honestly, he could get it.
He could be our next, at least, nominee for a Republican candidate.
I think that's where we're heading. I think the Republican Party, the big execs over there, are going to say "fuck you" to Trump.
I'd pay to watch the Trump riots.
Yeah, well, there's that. Probably not a smart idea, but then again, they aren't very smart people. I can see them making that choice.
And
look at these people.
It's sad when the girl right there looks bored as fuck in spite of the fact that she's clapping. Look at the people behind him, bored as fuck.
And they're all, like, those are people clearly paid to be there. Hold the sign.
Yep, bored.
Oh, Ted.
I bet they handed those signs out.
That's what happened when he went to Liberty University. Like,
they were forced to be there.
Yeah.
But no, I think they handed these signs out. I think that they knew who was going to be behind the cameras, and they forcibly made them hold some of these.
Yes.
They're too uniform. And that's even creepier. They're black and red uniform signs. I mean, Nightmarish.
Trust Ted.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's fucking nightmarish, really.
That is a horrible sign.
And I will say there is more and more consensus we are seeing on this issue as we see, for example, people coming together to bar extreme practices, things like partial birth abortion, where we're seeing large consensuses of American people saying this practice is gruesome, it's barbaric.
Well, luckily it was already illegal in most places, so.
Yeah, that'd be like saying, we've all come together and said, stealing.
We've all decided that look, kicking a woman repeatedly in the stomach is no way to give a proper medical abortion. So we've outlawed that in most of the states.
They like to use a lot of buzzwords like it's gruesome. And they try to make this conflation. They act like every abortion is a back alley abortion.
Yeah, and every abortion is a partial birth abortion.
Oh,
right?
they're just tearing apart infants. And they're eating them like Kronos. Like, no.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's really tender. You gotta get them before the bones fully form.
Yeah.
It is my hope that we see people's hearts and minds change. But this is an issue where it's going to take time for people's hearts and minds to change. That if you're going to change a major issue of public policy, the way to do so, I believe, is at the ballot box. I have my whole life
vote for me. That's what I'm saying, basically. Vote for me.
He does this all the fucking time. When I made a video when he went on late the what the fuck show is Stephen Colbert on now? The Late Show? Yeah. But yeah, he does this. He's always like, I'm for democracy. I'm for the ballot box. It's like, no, you dumb motherfucker. You are not. You have your own pre-planned agenda. Do not act like you're in favor of the will of the people. Most people don't like you. You stupid cunt.
You creep people out.
Yeah, like, no.
Like, really. You creep me out.
Like, I'm a patriot. I know all about this country and its formation and its constitution. No, you fucking don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lunatic, and he creeps me out. He makes me uncomfortable.
Especially in this video, they did something to his face. It looks worse than normal.
Yeah, I mean, I would take a cell with a known rapist over him. Because at least I know the rapist is only going to rape me. I don't know what this guy's going to do.
Yeah, you never know.
I've been a passionate defender of the Constitution. And I think judicial
he's just selling himself here.
Is wrong. One of the worst things about the Supreme Court in 1973.
He's just selling himself here. That's all this is.
Another talking point. Fuck the Supreme Court. They made bad decisions once.
Yeah, no. So fuck the Supreme Court right now. Now, if we ever get something passed through them that we need done, we're gonna be all up in their ass again.
That's there was a video we played on the show. It was the first time the non-believer was on. He was talking about the Supreme Court, and it was like, there's a whole lot of, there's a bunch of leftist activist judges, and then he goes on to advocate for right-wing activist judges.
Yeah, that's how this works.
You are such a hypocrite. It is painful.
Yeah, that's just how this works now. I don't know why, but it's just how this works now.
It wouldn't bother me if he didn't act like, I'm this patriot. I'm in favor of the ballot box and democracy. I'm for the will of the people. No.
No, you're not. You're a disingenuous asshat. There's a difference.
Like, I would have so much more respect for Ted Cruz if he's just like, hey, I'm an evil asshole. Here's what I want. I want to rule the world. I want all my will to be done. I'd be like, you know what? I don't like that guy, but
I think he just wants to jack off in the Oval Office.
Oh, God. The memories.
I think that's literally his only goal here. He wants to get in that Oval Office, and he wants to think about being Bill Clinton while he jacks off in the Oval Office.
He's not going to have a Monica.
No, he's a smarmier person. He's never going to get laid in there. He's just going to wink it.
Oh, God.
Just shame jerk in the Oval Office.
Thanks for the nightmare fuel.
Yeah, just shame jerk in the Oval Office. It'll be fun.
Shame jerk.
That's only... Look at that face. That's a face that shame jerks.
Stepping in and seizing this issue is it took it out of control of the people. It said that 5 unelected judges will decide this issue rather than 300.
God, no.
It's just a scripting point at this point.
He always makes that point too. Unelected.
No, they always say 5 unelected judges.
Yeah, and it was the will of the people, especially of women, to have access to abortions. It was the will of the people of a group who hadn't been listened to for a long time, who was finally addressing this issue. And you're acting like everyone at the time was in favor of, oh, we need to save all lives.
Yeah, well, it's a joke. I mean, there are times when I agree with the way things are done, and there are times when I don't agree with the way things are done. But to bitch and moan and then say, I mean, what's your solution? The only solution is we stop listening to the Supreme Court, we dismantle the Supreme Court, we just remove the judiciary branch from our government. What are you even talking about?
I made
really. I mean, what are they talking about? What's their alternative? What are they just 5 unelected? Okay, and what's your what is your alternative to put in position as opposed to the judiciary branch of our government?
Yeah, I think I might try to link it, but I did make a video a long time ago about the right-wing hatred of the Supreme Court, and I went through a lot of clips, I went through a lot of arguments, but when it comes to Ted Cruz, he can't be pro-Constitution.
Yeah.
The Constitution lays out the roles of the Supreme Court. I went over this in supreme detail. I read bits of the Constitution. I read bits from the Bill of Rights and from some of the added-on stuff regarding the Supreme Court and what James Madison and others had envisioned for it. The Supreme Court's job is clearly laid out in our founding documents, and you cannot be pro-America if you're going to say fuck the Supreme Court. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
basically. I'd honestly say you have a higher chance of arguing that the president can be argued out of office than a Supreme Court.
Sure.
That was in the time of kings. We no longer need a figurehead, but... Okay, we've already given... Fuck that. We've given him 2 minutes already? Shit.
Yeah, if you want to be done, we can be done.
11 minutes of Ted Cruz.
Yeah, God, no. God fucking